What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. In this training, we're going to break down planning your summer activities. This is our first time meeting. My name is Coach Tony, former UC Berkeley admissions reader, former UC LA outreach director. So I'm behind the scenes helping students navigate the admissions process, yes or no to them. And last 16 years now, our team and I, we've been helping families navigate the admissions process, help them prepare for getting into these top schools, not just the UCs, but our kids end up at the Ivies, the top private schools, all the schools you can think of as well too. And then just understanding the secret, just understanding what admissions looks for on the back end. So kind of going this training, we're going to focus on summer preparation and how you should spend your summers. At the time of this recording, it is about early December. So if you're watching this live or close to this time, now it's pretty much like the start, right? This is like the start of the summer planning for a lot of our families as well too. And the closer you are to summer, some of these strategies might not work as more as time gets closer and closer. So those of you who are joining us early, kudos to you all. Right, let's go ahead and dive in. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I am going live to a group here on Zoom. So those who are here on Zoom with me, if you can let me know really quick if you can see my screen to make sure I'm not sharing the wrong screen or anything there. Really quick in the chat, drop yes or no. You should see planning some activities as well too. Awesome, fantastic. Thank you for people. Thank you folks for there. Let's go ahead and dive in. So first off, let's talk about some basic stuff. Let's talk about summer, right? So this is a big kind of season, right? And when it comes to school, right, we always tell families that everyone has normal school, right? The school year is pretty much like same for most people, right? Same for most, right? You have an element of classes you're taking, you have elements of activities you're doing as well too. But where it stands out, where it does a little different, is summer, right? Summer, I would say, is the big differentiating factor for students in today's world, right? Because again, some students, again, they just literally don't do anything over summer, just hang out, play video games all summer long. And there are students who use summer as a way to catch up or a way to get ahead or a way to double down on things, right? Extra months, extra weeks in the year for them as well too. So again, that's be the big thing here. The biggest tip I would have for you guys here today is don't wait until May to start these topics, these action steps. All right, we're gonna give you guys a few things to consider to think about as well. Don't wait. People think, "Oh, I'm gonna wait till May." When you wait till May, lots of opportunities close, right? So I think that's gonna be the big thing for you guys to understand is the key here. All right. So first off, let's talk about what does admissions look for in summer, right? And so that's kind of the first thing over here. Because again, if you know what they're looking for, you just work backwards, right? You just work backwards to get us to that end result as well too. So what I would say is when it comes to readers just want to see how you spend your summer just alone, right? You doing something versus someone else not doing something, right? It speaks on who the student is. So our parents, I would say, like if, like I say, at your job, right? Someone does extra work all the time versus someone who does the minimum. Which one would you kind of usually be like the better employee, right? You're the one who does more than they need, right? Same thing with school. Summer is that kind of opportunity for a lot of our students where most people, the average student, which is do nothing, they'll coast as well. But a lot of the superstars, especially if you're aiming for a top elite school, right? They're maximizing their summer. They're doing extra things over summer as well too. So I would say that admission looks for a few things. They look for patterns, right? They want to see consistency and they want to see growth, right? So that's kind of the big thing that you want to demonstrate in your activity section itself here. So what we're going to talk about, there'll be three kind of categories. There'll be academic activity, academics, there's activities, and also for some of our students, especially for those of you who's mentioned you're a junior right now, next summer, you're going to be a rising senior. So you're going to have essays to write. So we'll talk a little bit about the application itself there. So let's go ahead and dive into that first, okay? So when it comes to the academics, keep in mind, by the way, these trainings, I purposely keep broad because right now, watching this live, we have 139 families joining us at me recording this live. There's probably hundreds more, thousands more watching the recording of this. as well too. So I'm gonna make this as broad as we can. Keep in mind every family is a little different based on your college goals, based on things. So I'll give you as I share these feedback, these recommendations, I'm gonna give like here's the context. If you are this family or if you're this student, this will make sense for you guys can understand that. Because keep in mind, not every advice should be applied to every single student. Right. So let's start first with the academics, right? Most people think academics is a little break, right? The summertime. I'll put summer academics, right? People think summer, take a little break, which you can, especially for students who worked really hard. Definitely, you can take a break as well too. However, for us, we don't like to recommend the breaks over summer. It's a very easy way to kind of stand out here, right? So the first way, I would say one option one is remedial, right? So for some students, right, let's say you didn't do so hot over the year, or you didn't pass a class as well too. A lot of students use summer to kind of make up a semester, make up classes to allow you to continue on in the springtime, right? Keep in mind that you do not make up a C grade, right? People are like, oh, my child got a C, I gotta do a retake. No, 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 no. C is passing, right? You only retake for D's and F's. If you have a C, C is passing. You do not need to retake it. People are like, I want to show the colleges that I am good. No, no, no. Do that another way, right? There's other ways to demonstrate that. You do not need to repeat a C level class. Right? So keep that in mind, number one. That some families do this, right? But I would say the big one is to get ahead, right? So this kind of where I think a lot of us will kind of fit under is we want to use summer to get ahead in your classes of law too. So this kind of option, the way is example is getting ahead in math. Right. So some of our students here, really quick in the chat for those who are here live as well. Anyone here, child is interested in engineering or computer science or data science or like pre-med or math or business as well too. A few yeses, right? As well too. So for those majors, the math is very important, right? Math is gonna be, some people say no, some people say yes, right? So a mix of both, right? Math is gonna be very important to do. Let's say, for example, if ninth grade you're currently at, let's say, algebra one, right, as well too. If you continue the sequence, right, algebra one, 10th grade, if you do that, algebra one and ninth grade, you probably get to geometry by 10th grade, algebra two by 11th grade, pre-calc senior year, right? If your school has integrated math one, IM one, IM two, IM three, same thing. You also finish at pre-calc as well too. So again, you can't go past that unless you do summer. So let's say, for example, you take algebra one, you take summer geometry, right? Which means now in 10th grade, you take algebra two. Now it lets you take pre-calc. Now it lets you take calc AB or BC, right? So you're able to go further if you can stack on the summer. Same thing with any other subject, by the way, right? Same with any sequential class subjects as well too, like languages. Language is pretty tough to do over summer, right? But in theory, you could, right? One subject to another subject to another subject, right? That's kind of how summer can help you speed things up as well, right? However, another way of getting ahead that we like to recommend is something called dual enrollment, right? So we've been teaching this a lot. One of our core strategies is basically as dual enrollment is as a high school student, you can take college level courses at a local community college, right? Community junior college as well too, right? The benefit of doing this is that this one semester summer class counts as a full year AP level course. So in one summer, in 8 weeks, you're getting the same credit as a full year class. And right, guaranteed college credits. I'll put an asterisk if the class is transferable. keep making that in mind. So don't take any random class, but if your class is transferable, you're going to be good to go as well too. So this is one of the easy things you can do. And keep in mind, a lot of these classes are most dual enrollment classes in summer are offered online and asynchronous, asynchro and sync asynchronous as well too. Because again, some of our families, you guys are traveling over summer. I'm not a go travel, right? Spend time with family. I always tell families, like, here's a side note as well too, right? Go enjoy your summer as well too, like AKA vacations, right? People always like, why do we work so hard, right? Why parents, why do you work so hard? Why do we try to do all this? Because we want to take care of our families is usually one of the big things for everyone. So yeah, it's a vacation. Go enjoy the time as well too. For me, is it's the and, right? The big key here is and go on the vacation and do X, right? I think that's the big key to keep in mind. It's not just one or the other, unless you're going on what, like 12-week vacation as well too, the whole summer long. Some families do, right? But for a lot of us, we go for like a week, 2 weeks max as well too. And what about the other 10 weeks of the summer, right? So it's the and factor. So going back here, the dual enrollment classes, because they're offered online and asynchronous, you can kind of get your work done before your vacation, and when you come back, you can finish the rest as well too. So keeping that in mind is going to be the key. Okay, so that's something I would recommend you guys look into as well from an academic point of view. Is to follow, go more in the dual enrollment route. It's one of the easy ways to get ahead is the key. That's pretty much academic. I think that's all the things that I usually bucket here. So yeah, so that's pretty much the big thing here. Okay, that's the first one. Second piece is summer activities, and this is where I want to talk a little bit more because the summer activity classes I take, that's pretty easy. The big one is summer activities, right? So first off, when it comes to summer activities, the big thing is what are activities, right? So what are activities? People always think it's stuff that I do, right? Stuff that I do, right? Which is not exactly correct, right? This is like, I would say this is half right. This is half correct, right? The better way to think about activities is how your student spends their time, right? That's kind of the best broad definition of activities. Because again, let's say your child has hobbies or interests or things that they do, that is also an activity. You don't want to hide that from the reader. The reader wants to know how you spend your time as well too. So that's kind of better, broader definition, I would say, of activities. So when it comes to activities, how do you spend your time? And you have a lot, right? I would argue you have a lot of time during summer, right? Let's think about it this way, right? So let's say example, here's the quick here's the summer math for you. Summer math for you as well too, right? Summer is usually what? Summer is usually 10, 12 weeks long, right? Usually, depending on summer 8, 10, 12, right? There's 7 days in a week, 24 hours in a day, 160 hours per week. So you have a lot of hours there. Again, you should be sleeping. And students who didn't sleep the school year shouldn't do that, but you should be sleeping, right? 7 days times 8 hours, 56 hours gone for sleeping, right? As well too. If you are doing your classes, right? How many hours are you really spending for classes is the key as well here, right? So if you are going to do college classes, by the way, so the usual thing is every 1 unit, right? 1 unit typically means 3 hours, right? It's kind of how the thing looks per week. I like studying as well too. So what you want to do is if you're taking 6 units, which is pretty like full time, right? 6 to 8 units as well too. That's about 68. That's like 18 to 24 hours of classes, right? This is academics. This is the academics for you as well too, right? Let's throw in 4 hours of free time every day. 4 hours of free time, 28 hours of free time a day. So when you do the math really quick, let's just quick math. 168 hours minus 56 minus, let's say, 24 minus 28. There's still 60 hours in a week, right? Still 60 hours left, right? Take out food, hour each day, 2 hours each day. You still have 50, 40 hours left. So when students say, I don't do anything over summer, I'm like, wow, you probably did something, but what did you do? So the thing is there's a lot of time to spend in summer, and this is per week, right? Multiply that by 10 weeks, you have 600 unaccounted hours to spend doing something. That's a lot of time, right? You can probably spend that doing something there. So when it comes to activities, we always tell our students there's 2 buckets of activities, right? 2 buckets. The first bucket you want to do is tasting your major, right? This is probably one of the big things. The second one is going to be personal interest. So when it comes to tasting your major, right? Tasting your major, this just basically says, how do I know you're interested in XYZ major as well, too? So if let's say you want to be a doctor, but you never did anything close to medicine, right? Can I tell you want to be a doctor? It's hard. I'm not sure if you want to do that. If you told me you want to do engineering, but you never did anything engineering related, how can I tell you're interested in that as well too? So tasting major is one of the categories. And how do we do this? Tons of ways, especially summer, right? Summer allows for more flexibility. Easy one is shadowing, right? Shadowing allows you to go kind of shadow someone, literally be their shadow when they're working, just kind of follow them around, kind of see what they do step by step. That could be a thing. Again, usually during the school year, you're at school, so you can't have the flexibility to do this. But during summer, you have the opportunity to kind of, hey, I have my my Monday free, my Wednesday free. I'm gonna go and kind of shadow somebody in this way as well too. Shadow is one thing. A more deeper level, this is internships, right? As well too. Again, usually during school time, it's hard for people to do intern because again, they're basically bringing you on to do hands-on things. But because you're in school, right? You're limited by how many hours you are available. Some things are during the daytime when you're in school. So during summer, you have the time to do things like this. To do internships in your field as well too. Something else to consider is going to be summer programs, right? Summer programs as well too, right? So summer programs are typically like a week, 2 weeks long. Some of them are shorter, like a day or two. But the summer programs, this takes up like a long thing. But a lot of summer programs allows you to explore a field, a specific field to see if, hey, do I like this or not? And because again, if you're going to focus on a certain major career, you're going to spend what, 40, 60 years, 40 years doing this field. Is that something you are ready to do? Right? So summer program allows you to have a small little taste. So this is really good for students who love to learn as well too, right? These are the big things as well. A little pro tip, by the way, these applications are typically due in January or February as well. That's why starting now is really, really hot. By the way, if you're watching this in May, most programs are probably locked out, like are blocked out as well too, and some of the ones that are up are kind of pricey as well too. Let's talk about the pricing a little bit too, so you guys know kind of how to think about that process as well too. Okay, and these are probably the big ones. Sometimes summer jobs, right, can give you hands-on experience. Let's say you're interested in computer science, you get to work at Best Buy. So I think they got to do their things, right? Give you that hands-on experience a little bit, probably not direct, but close-ish as well too. That's gonna be the first one, the tasting your major. The second one you can do, we call it personal interest, right? Because you don't want to only do your stuff. Because let's say, for example, you're interested in computer science, so you probably do programming, you probably do hackathons and stuff. I bet you if I asked another student who did computer science, I bet you they also do hackathons. They also do coding things. Because a lot of kids do the same exact things, but you need that, right? That shows me what your major is, tasting your major. What sets you apart is not just that, it's the personal interest, right? What do you enjoy outside of your major is the key, right? So other things not associated. If you love to play sports, go play sports. A lot of our kids, summer, they go surfing. It's not cool. Add that. That's the activity that you're doing as well too, right? So tons of things, and a lot of these above can kind of fall below as well too. Maybe you want to volunteer, right? Volunteering opportunity again because you have more time, more opportunities open up. Maybe you want to work on a passion. We call them personal projects, right? Personal projects as well too, right? Something that you're interested in doing to kind of showcase what you like to do as well. So tons of different things is going to be the key, and et cetera, et cetera. So these are not just the only options, but these are some options. Again, it depends on what your child's looking for, what their strengths are as well. But again, you definitely want to taste both of these things. This is going to be how you spend a lot of your things in your summer. Okay. One quick note about the money factor, right? So any paid opportunities, right? As well too, like should I do it? This program sounds really cool, but it's like $10,000, it's $5,000, whatever the number is, right? I always say for all paid opportunities, you want to run the decision through two filters, right? Filter number one, right, is a parent one, right? Parents, basically, if we jumped on board, would we stress out about the money, right? So there are some programs that do cost several $1,000s, a lot more as well too. I always tell parents, if you bought it, if you join, would you stress out about that? Would you have to like, I don't know where this money's coming from. I gotta figure it out. Because if you're gonna stress out about it, don't do it. There's nothing that you pay that will guarantee anything as well too. So don't pay that as well too. But right, again, we work hard. You guys have resources. You can help your child kind of get up because some opportunities are very exclusive, right? There's some programs at the Ivy Leagues out, for example. Those are some of the pricier ones, right? But they let you dorm on their campus. I always tell parents, what other programs let you dorm on that campus? What other time can you do that? So if that's going to be one of the big, this teaser to filter number two, but if that's a really unique opportunity, your child wants to do it, right? And you can afford it, go for it. But again, don't feel like you have to. And there's tons of lower cost. There's tons of free things. Man, most of this stuff is freeable, right? Although there's no cost to shadowing. Hey, you reach out to the people. Hey, can I shadow you? Sure. That's probably the easiest one to do. You don't need to pay anything at all. So keep in mind, a lot of these have free options. Some of these have like paid components as well too. But a lot of it is, again, number one, if you did it, what you stress about. And the filter number two, right? This is for the students. I tell students, if Coach Tony didn't let you write this on your college apps, would you be okay as well too? Because some students like, whoa, Coach Tony, I spent all summer working on this really fancy project as well too. If I'm not gonna talk about it, why even do it? Why even do it if I can't talk about it is the thing, right? And again, if that's your mentality, that's probably the wrong approach. That's probably the wrong answer to this stuff as well. And you shouldn't be doing that program or that opportunity as well too, right? But again, think about for kids who play sports, right? If your child plays sports as well too, let's say they play soccer. And I tell them, hey, Johnny can keep playing soccer, Sarah can keep playing soccer, but they can't put on their college apps. I don't think they'll care. A lot of kids who play sports, they just love the sports, right? They love to do it as well too for them. Even if I told them they don't do it, like, that's cool. I'm still going to do it because they want to spend your time doing it is the key there. That's the filter. That being said, keep in mind, you share everything. Don't not share any program that you guys do. Share everything, but the good filter one, parents, can we afford it? Filter number two, students, even if you can't talk about it, would you still want to do it, right? Those are the two things over here, okay? So that's gonna be the summer activities. And the last thing is gonna be summer applications, right? So this is the fun one as well too. So if you are a junior, right? If you are a junior right now, summer application, and if you're not a junior, but this is like preparing you for the future, right? Summer application itself here, right? So when it comes to summer application, we actually, like, for context, right? Our coaching students will be starting this process in April. So if anyone here is part of our coaching families, we'll be starting this in the month of April as well. We'll be doing a college list call to finalize your college list. We'll be doing an essay brainstorm call to help you figure out what topics to write about. And we start writing in May. We don't wait till summer, right? Is the number one. So keep that in mind, little FYI. For about those who are interested, quick little commercial break right now. If you guys are interested, our event, we help our students with the essay process. This next year, we have a fun little approach to it. It's going to be a 6-week event. It's a 6-week event where we help our students start college list. As a example, it's 6 weeks where we help our students start and get as far, if not completed, all their essays. A little different format if you've been following us for a while is the key. But 6 weeks long, there's going to be 6 weekly training videos. There's going to be 6 weekly office hours, as well as 6 one-on-one essay editing sessions and 6 async. You send in your essays in, the team edits it offline, right? Essay editing feedback as well too. If you guys are interested in that, you guys can go and register. First come, first serve. We're going to sell out every year. I always warn people. No one believes me, but that's it. Once we're out, we're out. This is the thing, right? So that's gonna be that. But for everyone else, right, who's starting in summer, right? The biggest thing you want to do is, again, kind of follow our stuff. The strategy is you want to start with your list. Right? Start with your list. Start with your college list first, right? Identify your list of schools. You want to look for your reach schools, your target schools, and your safety schools first to figure out what's the net I'm casting out. Once you have that, then you want to identify your essay topics. right? Your prompts as well too, because the schools you're applying, they all have different questions they're going to ask you for each one as well too. And once you have that, what we have our students do is here's the actual writing process, right? Step number one, right? So step number one over here is you want to identify your 4 to 5 topics as well too. I always tell students the easiest way to do this on a sheet of paper, 3 columns, right? The first column is what did I do, like things, activities. Second one, experiences. Third one, so activities, experiences, and third one is identities, right? So sheet of paper, 5 minutes, ramble. Just say what activities did I do in high school? Boom, 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 boom. What experiences did I live in high school? Boom, 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 boom. What identities did I belong to? Boom, 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 boom. You have a list of like 10, 20, 30 things or more, right? Once you have that, step number 2 is process of elimination as well too. You'll look at the list and you're like, everything on this list made me who I am today. However, not everything's that important. That made me the core of who I am is the key. Your goal is to get this down to the 4 to 5 topics that defined you. These are the key moments that made you who you are today, right? Once you have that, right? Number 3 is story time, right? Each item you told me, each activity, experience, identity, there's a story attached to that as well too. Tell me the story in less than 5 bullet points, right? Boom, 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 done. I said, don't go details. I don't need to know details. This is where a lot of kids mess up, by the way. Don't go story. I don't need to know a story. Again, realistically, how special is your story? Context, right? Context. UCLA had 170,000 students apply. Statistically, whatever story you're going to come up with, I bet you at least one other student is going to say the same story. If not, a lot of kids are going to say the same story. The story is not what's going to make you special. What makes you special is step number 4. Step number 4 is the insights. We call this the dig deep factor. Dig deep as well too. So basically you want to ask yourself why. Why did you do what you did? How has it made you who you are? And who have you become as a result? Those are the magical questions in this entire process. If anyone's working, if you're a senior, those are the magic questions I ask the seniors. Why did you do what you did? How has it made you who you are? Who have you become as a result? Those are the 3 most important things to get right in this process. Most people feel and focus so much on the story. The story is not that important because a lot of people have the same story. We actually teach you want to keep this 30%. The story, only 30% of your essay is that. The insights, this is 70% of your essay. The majority of your essay should be about the insights, not what happened. Okay. Then once you have this, step number 5 is I call it the brain dump, right? On paper. This is your first draft, right? First draft, you basically want to answer the prompts, tell me the story, explain the insight. That's it, right? You don't want to make it any more fancier. You want to treat it as you're just answering. It should feel like you're answering an interview question, right? When we talk to people, I don't tell you guys the tree was 10 foot tall and the clouds were going. No, I tell you, I'm going to teach you about this. I go straight in and I talk about it right away. That's how this should be, right? Answer questions right away here. Then, right, the future steps is to iterate, right? Our future steps is to continue fixing this process as well too. So we tell students, did you do the first part, right? Then we get to the 30-70 ratio. Most students on their first draft, they have a lot of story, not a lot of insights. So we help switch that for them, right? More insights, less story. Then you want to get over word count. Then you reduce your word count to the 350 for the UCs, 650 for the Ivies, and the private schools, and all the other different limits that you have as well too. Then you make sure everything flowy. We also have like a little tip for you guys, little bonus tip. Do not use an intro. Do not use a conclusion. Do not use a hook. You don't need those. If you have them, we call them waste of words as well too, right? You can do it if you want to. You don't need to do it, right? Focus on the getting straight to the point, answer the question right away is going to be the key for you guys here. Okay, so that is gonna be the tip. Did I miss anything? Boom, 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 boom. That's pretty much it. And when it comes to when it comes to the application process, to make sure you guys are good as well too. At this stage, right, you're gonna make sure you have right, copy your transcripts, high school transcripts, optional college transcripts plus college transcripts if you took any colleges, to copy these into the things as well too, right? Or multiple high schools if you went to like an online high school, UC Scout, BYU, you can do that as well too. Activity list, right? You want to list out every single thing you did with an explanation of what you did, and hours per week, weeks per year. Reason I asked you guys earlier to try to aim for 20 plus hours a week is this. They're going to ask you for this. So I'm just working you guys backwards, right? You're like, why does he keep talking about hours per week? It's because the college application asks you for hours per week. So I'm pre-framing your brain to think about that in that way, right? That's pretty much it. That's all you need to know, right? And the rest you can start writing out as well too. But those are the two big ones you need to prepare is the key. Okay. I think that's it. That's all my notes, and that's what all my notes there. So yeah, so that's just pretty much it. So that's all in terms of summary, right? So in summary as well too. So again, depending on where you guys are at or where your child is at as well too, right? If you guys activities is gonna be the absolute top priority, right? Making sure we do that. You want to start now, right? Whatever now is. If you're watching this live in December, start now. If you start watching this in January, start now. The sooner you start, the better it's gonna be. Try to fill up most of your activities here. Then you want to make sure your academics are there, right? As well too. Dual enrollment, kind of catching up, getting ahead. That's the other big thing. And for rising seniors, right? Essays are the most important factor in the admissions process is the key. So you're going, that's kind of the order that I would plan everything for you guys. Make sure the activities are solid, make sure academics are good, and then making sure our, for the seniors, making sure our essays is what we spend most of our time on is the key. Okay. That is pretty much it for this training. So that's it for that. Hopefully that was good. In the chat, let me know if it was this a good training. Drop a yes if yes is good. Drop a no if it's not good as well too. But then hopefully it's not a lot of no's as well too. Still 146 people. Fantastic. Cool. Awesome. Let's do some Q&A. I see some questions pop in the chat. Let's go ahead and answer them real quick, and we'll wrap it up. I finished a little early than I planned. So Q&A. First one, someone asked, what happens, what do you recommend for families whose school does not cover the cost of dual enrollment? And I would say, cover it. That's a lot too, right? So pay for it. Usually, right, community colleges is usually around $50 per unit, right? So a 3 to 4 unit class is typically around $150, $200 per class. Keep in mind, what's the benefit of doing this, right? What's the benefit of doing this as well too? If they finish a class at the college level, they're done. They're done exactly with this class. You don't have to take it. If you take the right class, keep that in mind. We have a bunch of trainings on dual enrollment. Next year, you take the right ones, right? But it'll be done. They don't have to take it at college. So this is a small investment in making sure that their classes are going to be good is the key. So I would definitely recommend covering it is the answer over here. Okay. Next one. What does asynchronous means? Oops. What does asynchronous? Asynchronous means on your own time, right? So that means some classes, they're like, hey, you're taking this math class, submit chapter 1, 2, 3, and you're good. How you do that, it's up to you. You can do it Monday, submit it, you're done. Wait till Friday before the deadline and do it, you're done. You can spread out. Async means on your own here. I'm assuming you mean our async edit, right? Is what I mentioned as well too. So our async, going back real fast, for those who are interested in this as well too. Async means you send in your essays. You send in your essays and our editors will edit offline and record you a video breaking down what they edited and send it back to you as the thing as well too. This one is one-on-one face-to-face, one-on-one private call as well. Right. For those who are interested, I'll drop in the chat. Someone asked for the link. So if you guys going to register, again, it's only for juniors. So if you're not a junior, don't sign up. We'll give you money back if you're not a junior is the thing. Okay. Next. What about SAT prep? really good question as well too. It depends on your goals, right? It depends on your goals as well too. So for example, number one, I'd ask, are your schools test optional? Are they blind? Are they required? Right? Because if they are blind, for example, if you're planning to only UC schools this year, right? You're a junior, you're planning only UC schools. Um, right? That no, that you don't need it, right? That schools don't look at it all if you're only applying there. If you're applying to schools that are optional, then maybe, right? If it can help us if the score is good. If it's required, you have to plan for it anyways, is the key there. Okay. So when it comes to studying for the exams, usually it takes like 8 weeks, I would say, is the that's how we help our students prep. We have an 8 week kind of crash course for our students to go through over here. So it depends on what you guys are kind of looking for is the key. But for a lot of our students as well, usually with 8 weeks, that's good to go. So if you take the exam in September, the only group that will probably take it realistically though is going to be like rising seniors, right? Reason why we don't say is that we'd have our kids be done a long time ago before then, because again, if you're doing it in September, you're preparing for your SAT and doing essays and doing senior classes. So a lot of things come up. So I was also try to finish your ST prep or STs by June-ish as well too, and you should be good to go there. Okay, so that's going to be that session here. Next one, can you repeat the why, how, and who? Why, how, who for the essay writing, right? Yeah. So when it comes to writing your essays, the four things essentially, right, is what happened is the first one. This should be 30%, right? But the combination of the why, the how, and the who, right? This should be 70% of your essays. Specifically, why did you do what you did? How did this make you who you are? And who have you become as a result? That's the three magic. When I'm reading any student's essays, I'm looking for that, right? And if I can only see a lot of what you did, the ratio's off, right? And then that ends up being not so good for the student. So again, this is the thing I always look at. If I read your essays, right, do I see 70%ish, so more than half, right, answering these questions? If you told me I jumped up and down, that's a what happened. I jumped up and down. I realized that I am a leader. I realize, right? Who have you become as a result, right? So you see how each sentence, I can match it to one of these kind of statements and see like, oh, yeah, you are here is the key, right? So that's the why, the how, and the who for you guys here. Is it better to do something? Is it better to do something over something that involves volunteering or your intended major? You must have missed the section, Anonymous. I said you are doing both. You're tasting your major and your personal interest, right? So the answer is and, not or, right? Most people, again, majority of high school, majority of admissions, it's always an and answer, not an or. Coach Tony, do I take a hard class or take an easy class? Hard class, get a B, easy class, get a. No. If you take a challenging class and get an A, the and, non-or is the key. Okay. Is it too late for a rising senior to do internship summer program? It is not. It is not as well too. You can definitely still apply, right? As well too. There's still time. Fun spoilers for you watching this live in December. We are doing a special private training next week, which we will be releasing I think on later this week as well too. Register for that. We will teach you guys how to do this in a very easy way to help you guys out as well too. But again, I would say no is the key. Okay. So as that. 8th grade activities for students who's unsure of focus. Again, I always tell parents, when you were what 8th grade? I was at 12 years old, 12, 13 years old. Did you know what you wanted to do? Right? And we laugh because no, I did not know what I wanted to do when I was 13 as well. So it's okay. Meaning it's okay for your child not to know. They're too young, right? But what we want to do is we want to explore. Middle school is a perfect exploration year, especially the beginning. And again, even students switch, right? I had a student, I share a story a lot. She just graduated from us this past year. She joined us in 9th grade. We met her, Bay Area student. She was a computer science, data science, right? We did that. Had her do activities related to that. And then by 10th grade, she was doing both computer science and business, was her activities, right? And by May of that second year, 10th grade, she dropped computer science. She's like, I don't want to do computer science anymore. I'm like, cool. And then by 11th grade, she added on healthcare. So you did healthcare, health, and business. And she stayed with it all both years. Today, she is currently a first year at UPenn, right? For a business and nursing double major. So super, super cool. Again, it can change. But what we like to do is we like to aim for the most rigorous path to keep all options open. What this means is there's kind of three pathways out there. There's the engineering CS pathway. There's going to be the STEM business pathway, and then the humanities arts pathway. Every major you can think of falls under one of these three. Right? That's kind of how it is, right? Everything falls under one of these three categories is the key too. So I will tell students, if you're thinking about engineering CS in any aspect, tiny bit, start there first. Let's prepare us as an engineering student. If we don't want to cross that, and hey, we're interested in STEM, interested in bio, interested in business, set you up for business bio first. Even if you're interested in arts, right, or humanities, still plan for business because it's easy to go down. It's hard to go up. That's the reason why. Okay, so I would have the student start from the top, moving down. How do you explain change in interests? If a student starts a little bit with, let's say, art, blah, blah, yeah, talk about it. That's all. Again, the exact story I just said, right? The student talked about her interest in changing interest as well. So you can talk about in the essays. There's the additional comments. You can share, or there's a prompt. Some private schools have a prompt of what major and why is the key. That's going to be, so for me, talk about it as well too. Again, I'm a fan of oversharing all the time is the key. Okay. Does the SAT pre-course count as academics? If you think it does, go for it. I don't think it does. So I'll say it's a class, right? But you can share it, right? Nothing can hurt you here is the thing, right? So the key in mind, you can do it if you want to do it. I don't think you need to share it is the key. But if you feel it is, right? It's the apps are all self-reported. So if you feel it's an academic, go ahead and put it there as an academic thing for you as well too. Okay. Someone say, how are pay-to-play programs regarding colleges? Very expensive, meaning glimpse of college life. Again, going back, I think you missed the answer earlier today. I mentioned for any of the paid opportunities, right? There's two filters you run through. However, if it's free, it's 10,000, whatever number is, right? Number one, from a parent point of view, will that number bug you? Will that make you stress out, not sleep, lose sleep if you paid it? Some parents, their income is very robust. So the number is, whatever. It's like an extra bill, right? Boom, as well too. Do not do it if it's going to stress you out. There's no programs that is worth feeling stressed about the money is number one, right? So again, but if you can afford the finances, I'm not gonna say don't do it, go for it as well too, right? Because, and here's the reason why most people, the answer to your question is number two. I think any program is good. The reason why paid programs get a bad rep is because people do it thinking if I do it, I'm gonna look good for college. And that's why we go through filter number two. Filter number two, I tell the students, if you get to do that program and I don't let you even talk about it on your apps, would you still want to go? Because if the student's like, wait, if I can't talk about it, why am I doing it? As well too. Then they're doing it selfishly to look good for college. That's why paid programs fail, because you're looking good. And in the game of admissions, going back, I wrote somewhere, 170,000 people applying to one school. Very hard to do, right? But if the money's okay with you guys and there's a reason why the student's doing it, that why, going back down again, you see how it ties together now, ties together. The story is the summer program. Why did you do it? There's a bigger reason why, because other kids are doing the same program, but your why, your how, your who is unique just to your student. That's the key, right? So the answer here is C above as well. All right. Last one as well too. What pathway should my child start? If healthcare is interest of healthcare, I would start at STEM, right? Unless they're thinking about CS or engineering, right? If not from a STEM route, which means for your student, I would make sure that they get to at least Calc BC at the minimum, right? Make sure they take the AP Bios, the AP Chems if they can, AP Environmental Sciences, the AP Sciences is the key as well. Okay, cool. I am now on my time, so hopefully that was call helpful for you guys. If you guys enjoy it in the chat, let me know. Make me feel good. If you guys like this training, drop a great call as well too. It makes me feel good inside, warm and fuzzy inside as well too. So that's pretty much it. And all the emojis. The emojis is great as well too. So yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you guys on the next